Hey, what's up guys? Brad with Squared Away every day. And yes, you read the title right. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting rid of my Performance Model 3. And I know what you're thinking, Brad, it's a Model 3 Performance. I see it in the comment section all the time. I don't know why. I'm just weird. I don't like to call it a Model 3 Performance. The Model 3 is performing what? It just sounds weird to me. I like to call it a Performance Model 3. It is a performance variant of a Model 3, or you could even do it with the Y. It is a performance variant of the Model Y. Call it whatever you want. That's what it is. So I'm thinking about getting rid of my Performance Model 3 that I've got, and here's kind of the reasons why I'm thinking about doing that. Well, for one, the Tesla Model S Plaid I've got and the Performance Model 3 I have both kind of serve the same purpose. They're almost essentially the same car in the purpose that they serve for me. And that is that they are a daily driver that is fast, that is fun, that's got a little bit of performance characteristics to it, and it's just an easy car to daily drive. And if you want, go ahead and check out my video, what was it? The top 5 selfish reasons to own a Tesla, and you'll see why I switched over to daily driving Teslas versus daily driving Toyotas. So you can check that out there. Anyway, so yeah, I've gotten to the point where I've got these two cars, both cars that I really enjoy and think are awesome, but they serve the same purpose to me. So I really have been thinking about getting rid of the Performance Model 3. And you know, for a couple, sometimes like I'll go through a couple weeks and I'll be driving the Model 3 like 70% of the time. And I'm like, oh man, this thing's awesome. Maybe I should just sell the Plaid. And then I'll go through a couple weeks of driving the Plaid like 70% of the time. And I'm like, oh dang, this Plaid's freaking awesome. I'll just sell the Model 3. And so finally, I've kind of just settled on selling the Performance, selling the Performance Model 3 and sticking with the Plaid. And to be honest with you, the Plaid, I just put a bunch of money into that PPF that I got done on it and the tint and all that. So I'm kind of locked into the Plaid at this point, which I'm happy to be. I love that car. But anyway, I've got two cars that are doing the same thing for me. So what I'd like to do is sell one of them, most likely the Performance Model 3, and get something else. The problem is, the Performance Model 3, if you haven't seen my other video, which was, what was it called? It was the most rare Tesla on Earth. I'll link to it up here. Something like that, or the most rare Tesla Model 3 on Earth. Something like that. That particular car I've gone through a lot with. First of all, it was my first Tesla or electric car I've ever had. Second of all, I had a lot of stuff happen with that car with Tesla to where they took away track mode and my performance features from me, and I had to fight to get them back. And so that car, it may not be the most rare Tesla on Earth, although it is a super rarely configured Tesla, hands down, from the paint code that it's got, the Obsidian Black, which is super uncommon, to the VIN number not being a performance VIN, but it is a stealth performance vehicle, to it being just a stealth Performance Model 3, which they only made less than 3,000 of those in the first place, to being the only stealth Model 3 that actually has track mode enabled in it, because they don't have that because the wheels and suspension combos are typically, those were deemed as not being rated to the torque spec that the motors were going to put out on the Performance model, and so they took track mode from the Stealth Model 3. So that car right there, and I could go on for a couple other things, but that car right there is super special to me, and I love it. And so every time I go to try to sell it to one of my family members, because I do not want to sell that car to somebody to where I'm not going to see it again, and I want full rights to buy that car back, because Lord willing, I'll have a house or a garage condo to where I can like store some more cars by the time that person's getting ready to sell it. So anyway, for me personally, I love that car, but every time I try to go like sell it to one of my family members, I'm standing out there and I'm looking at the car and it's all blacked out and it's got the, you know, copper metallic brakes and it's the Duracell theme, how I wanted it to be. And it's so cool. It's hard for me to get rid of. And so that's the dilemma I'm kind of in right this second. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. Whatever car I decide to get rid of, I'm thinking of replacing it with a couple cars actually. So one of them that I'm actually really excited about is the new Corvette C8 Z06 or Z07, which I'm on the list for right this second, and that's supposed to come out like mid 2022 to the end of 2023. So for me, I've been on this journey for the past few years of building out the perfect garage, just like an awesome array of vehicles. And so I've settled on daily driving Teslas. They're the safest cars, and whatever. Go watch that video I told you to watch. They're awesome cars to daily drive. But it's not the only car that I want to own. And so those of you that don't know, I own a fully built Overland Toyota Tacoma 3rd gen, which is a 2017, and that thing is freaking awesome. It's quicksand color. It's just so cool. And I'm like a big fan of like weird colors and stuff. So really love the quicksand color, and that's an awesome rig. Not getting rid of that one. Then I've got this car, which is my Performance Model Y, and this is actually my wife's car. And so my wife and the kiddo drive around in this, and that's great. They're safe and easy to drive, and you're not gonna go to the gas station. Super cool car, super stoked about it. Which, by the way, I'm gonna be throwing on an 18-inch set of wheels on this particular vehicle, and then I'm gonna throw on the meatiest BF Goodrich KO2 I can on this thing and just see how it goes. I don't know how it's going to affect the range. I don't really know anything at this point, but it's going to be super awesome. So I've got some Momo 18-inch wheels on order right this second. I've also got some big BF Goodrich KO2s on order right this second. I hope that they're going to fit on here and not rub, but we'll just have to see what happens. And that's going to be a fun little trip. But anyway, I've got the Tacoma, I've got this Model Y, which is awesome for my wife and my kiddo, great car for them. And then I've got my Tesla Model S Plaid, great car for me for a daily driver. It's good for a lot of stuff that I do, and it's fast and it's fun, and like that is a cool lineup right this second. And then I'd like to add some sort of a garage toy to the list. So that the Corvette C8 Z06 or Z07 fits that bill in a big way, and I'm super excited about that car because it is the fastest V8 engine ever made. It's just a really awesome car. And not only that, but the V8 that they put in it, in the exhaust notes it has, are so good. Like that car sounds so freaking awesome. And not only that, it's a great American effort. The Corvette C8 is a great undertaking. Hats off to Chevy for doing that, and I just think it's really cool, and I'd like to be a part of it. I always jokingly say that like my Performance Model 3 or my Tesla Model S Plaid are my American muscle cars, and they kind of are. They're like a modern day American muscle car is really what they are, because they go fast in a straight line, faster than anything, and that's kind of their specialty. So I'd like to add in another car, and if I can, have it be another great American effort like the Corvette C8. Man, I would be so stoked to do it. In that naturally aspirated V8 engine, that's just cool. I've always had a sweet spot for the V8s. So that I'm on the list for, and I'm kind of locked in at that point. I could back out of it. I would lose a little bit of a deposit, but that car is coming. So I'm thinking about replacing the Performance Model 3 with that, or I've always been a big fan of Porsche too, and I'm trying to get a car that's going to complement my Plaid in a really nice way. So that means a car that would be awesome to take to the track. And for me, that means I would be looking at, like, I love the Porsche 911 turbos. I love the Porsche 911 GT3s, although they've gotten a little big in the past generation or so. And so I'm looking at doing a Porsche Cayman GT4. Ooh, that would be so awesome. They're making great colors. Ideally, I'd like to get that in the, what do they call it? The Miami blue with like the yellow brake calipers. Man, that would be awesome. What a great lineup right there you'd have of cars. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Let me know in the comment section down below though. Do you think I should just keep both of those Teslas? You think I should sell one or the other? Or are you stoked about the C8? Are you stoked about a Cayman GT4? I don't know. Let me know. At some point, I'd also like to add into the mix like a Mercedes like adventure van, like a camper van kind of thing. That would be awesome, because I don't really like to fly anyway. So that would be cool. But anyway, you know, just car goals is really what it is. And I'm just trying to build out a super awesome garage. So anyway, let me know what you think about all that stuff in the comment section down below. If you haven't had a chance yet, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and we'll see you in the next one.